What is going on, guys? It is Joe talking about the Kansas State Wildcats. I'm going to get it out of the way now. I am not on my A game today. This is my fourth time trying to record this video. For some reason, the words are not coming out right, so I apologize. But nonetheless, we are talking about the Kansas State Wildcats, back on the football side of things this time, talking about the transfer portal, some recent losses, some recent potential additions we'll talk about as well. Before I do get into the main topics here discussing the title and the thumbnail, let me tell you this, guys. Quick reminder. If you like Kansas State sports, if you like talking ball about K-State football, K-State basketball, this is the place for you. This YouTube channel is the place for you. No, I'm not a crazy over-the-top journalist. However, I do have some opinions on K-State sports, and I appreciate being able to share that with you. If that's something you're interested in hearing, because I know that in my case, I just consume K-State content, absolutely devour K-State content. So if you want a little bit more into your daily repertoire of K-State content, consider subscribing to the channel, and it helps us out immensely. I always say us out of nature, but it's just me. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate you for watching. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. In the last video, if you watched it, I talked about the losses of Will Howard, Trayshawn Ward, Shane Porter, and the other two quarterbacks hit the portal. And I kind of mentioned that, Shane Porter was somewhat of a surprise, obviously a young guy on special teams, but it makes sense why he's leaving, trying to get some more playing time at his natural position. There wasn't really a loss that kicked you in the teeth and said, dang, we're going to miss out on this guy's future. We're going to miss out on this thing. We're not going to see the future of this person wearing purple. Most of the players that hit the portal you expected to leave to an extent. The first portal loss that really surprised me, maybe not really surprised me, but surprised me to an extent, was Will Lee. Will Lee announced, hey, I'm going to enter the portal when it comes up on Monday. Thank you for my time at K-State, blah, blah, blah. You saw a little bit of this in the Iowa State game. And I don't want to, dunk on Will Lee or say anything like that, because I appreciate his time. I appreciate his effort. I appreciate what he did. It just wasn't the right fit. However, that game against Iowa State, you saw that long 70-yard touchdown run against Abu Sama where you kind of shove him forward. Obviously, I'm not going to say that, he just didn't want to tackle Abu Sama or something like that, or he's trying to, none of that garbage. But I will say that maybe if you already have your mind made up on the portal, and I'm just assuming, I don't want to say that Will Lee just didn't show up, he didn't play, he didn't want to, whatever. But I will say this. From the rumblings you've heard a little bit on social media across different spaces for K-State people to talk, maybe Will Lee had already made up his mind a little bit on this transfer portal decision, and that's kind of why you see Will Lee benched after that long touchdown run where you give Abu Sama a speed boost up the field. I'm not saying he's not there to tackle the guy. I'm not saying he's not there to try, but in the cold, in the snow, are you going to go to bat for a team you're transferring away from? You're going to give it 100% effort rather than 85% effort. That might explain some of the stuff we saw there. And I don't want to say that that was what Will Lee's doing. He could have just genuinely thought that he had enough body power to throw over Abu Sama. Didn't work out, gave him the old, Mario Kart speed boost towards the end zone on a 70-yard touchdown. One of many, I might add, but it just didn't work out fit-wise, which is really disappointing because he had the promise. Alabama reached out to the kid and gave him hey, how committed are you to Kansas State? Is this something you're considering? There was some real praise for Will Lee out there. He's a good corner. He's a big-bodied corner. You appreciate him. He's a JUCO prospect guy. Just didn't work out. Just did not work out. I know that that's kind of a lame excuse to say, but that's just the transfer portal. That is life in the transfer portal. Will Lee did not work out with Kansas State. Not his fault, not the coaching staff's fault. Just wasn't a good pairing at the end of the day, so I wish him nothing but the best. Here's the good thing about the portal. You can bring in some absolute dogs to your team. You can fill a position that lost your key guys like that. If you find the right guys, if you have good recruiters, you have a good coaching staff, good quarterback, whatever you need. Kansas State has all those things, by the way. You can find guys that fit in that role. Here's the dude we're going to talk about today. You saw him in the thumbnail. You've seen him in the title. How about my friend, Kelly Akharaiyi, wide receiver from UTEP, 6'1", 195 pounds. The dude is an explosive monster. This is a real dude that, this is your answer. This is your answer at the wide receiver position. This is a guy that comes in and is like, oh, dude, you answered my prayers. You answered my dreams. Thank you for being here, dog. This is the guy we need in Manhattan. Before I keep raving about the dude, let me read his stats. Let me give you a reason why to be excited for this kid. How about this? Last season at UTEP, 48 catches, 1,033 yards for an average of 21.5 yards per catch. That is a ton. And 7 scores with an 80-yard touchdown long in the season. This dude is explosive. He's dynamic. He's able to get out in space, and he's gone when he does. That's the type of player this guy is. This is a big-time playmaker. This is a dude you bring into any college team in America, and he stands out. You can go back to watching film in junior college. You can watch high school film on this dude. This dude stands out on tape. At every level of college football he's played, he stands out. That is a great quality to have. If you want a reason to get excited beyond that as to why he might come to K-State, why K-State's a possibility, beyond the fact that we just sent him an offer coming out of UTEP, he did play college football, junior college football with Kobe Savage at Tyler. And I don't know about you guys, but every dude that comes out of Tyler Junior College is a dog. I mean, every one of them has a giant chip on their shoulder. They're ready to be that next dude. Like, they've experienced immense amounts of adversity, or they've experienced some types of hardship, and they've overcame it to get to the point where they're at. This dude on 48 catches had 1,000+ yards and 7 touchdowns, 21.5 yards per catch. That is huge. That is gigantic. That is up there with some of the best in the nation on a certain amount of catches. Obviously, you're going to get the one-off guys that have a 1 catch, 62-yard touchdown, or some type of thing like that in the screen game. Kelly Akharaiyi, 6'1", 195 pounds. He steps into that locker room as a dude. I know that the dude thing's kind of played out a little bit. This guy gets in the receiver room alongside of Jace Brown, alongside a couple other guys. You get Sterling Locke, you get RJ Garcia, Keegan Johnson. Obviously came on there late and got to the point where he was a real dangerous threat in the last couple of weeks of the season. You pair Kelly Akharaiyi with Jace Brown. You give DJ Giddens the rock in the backfield, Avery Johnson as a quarterback. That's a tough lineup to defend. And I know people will say, well, we're losing Ben Sinnott. Garrett Oakley might be a stud, dude. He looks good already. Quick shout out real quick as well to Dayon for talking about Kelly Akharaiyi, basically mentioning like, this dude reminds me of a more explosive Malik Knowles, which is kind of crazy to think about because of how explosive Malik already was. Like, I don't know that I'd say Malik ran crisp routes or had that separation factor, but when he hit the hole or he got through it in the open space, like, that dude was a home run hitter. That's the type of dude that Malik Knowles is. Kelly Akharaiyi has all that, plus the fact that it is tough for any DB in the country to stay within 2 yards of this dude. If you go back and watch the film, I mean, he had a game against FIU, and I know it's FIU, so take that with a grain of salt. 8 catches, 223 yards, and 2 tuds in that game. I mean, that's the type of dude this guy can be at K-State. This dude could be an absolute big splash with K-State. He's physically gifted. He's really strong, but damn, you put him in the weight room with a guy like Van Malone. You put him in the weight room with a guy like True Carroll. I mean, that's going to be huge. Obviously, wide receiver coach Matthew Middleton is going to be just loving this dude. This is the type of dude you get into campus, and you immediately say, all right, boys, we won this battle. This is a huge one. This is a great get for next season. You look at this team, you've got a great team. You've got a quarterback that is nationally relevant, nationally known. I mean, Avery, he didn't need to run for 5 touchdowns against Tech to be nationally known. He already was. Elite 11 dude, has a ton of pop in the arm. I mean, this is a guy that threw for thousands of yards in high school, ran for thousands of yards in high school, and he got the flowing locks. I mean, that alone is nationally relevant. But I don't need to sell you on why Akharaiyi should be a Wildcat. All I'm saying is to show the kid some love because he would be such a great fit in Manhattan, and I would absolutely love to see him on the roster. I'll finish it off by saying this. Outside of the obvious spots you have to fill, like you got to fill a spot at corner now that Will Lee's gone. Probably want to get a couple of pass rushers and then, a right tackle, left tackle situation just so you have some depth at the offensive line. What you're going to need to do in the portal is surround Avery Johnson with weapons. The more dudes that can get open in space around a young quarterback that has that ability to be, all right, hey, I run a 4-4. I could be out this in a second. I can throw it 60 yards off my back foot. I have that ability. The more people you can put around and make his life easier, make the game slow down, that is a massive get. That's how this team gets to a college football playoff. That's how this team gets to that next level. You utilize Avery Johnson for what he's great at, but you don't make the kid reinvent the wheel. I mean, Kelly Akharaiyi took so many slants to the house this season where it's like, nobody's keeping up with this dude in space. I mean, across the field, he's a lethal first step type of guy, and he's out. That's the type of dude you want in Manhattan. The portal is going to be a long cycle. We're going to have a lot of recruiting battles. We're going to have a lot of people to talk about, but this is one that was too big of an opportunity to pass down. Needed to talk about Kelly Akharaiyi because he would be an absolute perfect player for K-State, and I hope that he feels that. I mean, I hope that obviously K-State's fan base is big enough to be like, hey, we want you, dude. We want you here. Every college base in America will do that. K-State has the dedication to do it beyond what everybody else will do. There'll be might be one or two guys saying, oh, come to Michigan. Come to, Ohio State. Come to whatever school. Minnesota. K-State, you look through anybody that like K-State fans are into, there's 150 gifts. That's what the reality is. So if you have time, check out the man on social media. Go hit him with a follow. Give him some love. Tell him what K-State's all about because we would absolutely love to have this kid here and bring a big piece in for Avery Johnson to succeed in the future. But guys, I'm going to get out of here. I could keep talking all day about this kid. Go check some of his film out. I'll link it in the description so you have a definitive video as to what to look for. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again for listening. Once again, consider subscribing if you like the content. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will talk to you here soon, and go Cats.